Coach, you have experience in building programs. You were, when you were at Auburn, you were one of the youngest coaches to get to 100 wins before your 50th birthday.
Right.
So I'm wondering how that experience at a bigger program helps you to build a program like Akron.
Well, I think the most important thing when you're building a program, you got to have some patience. And if you've been through it before, you're not going to waffle or panic when things don't go right. I mean, we went 1-11, and all your starters said, "Well, guys, this is harder than I thought." And then we went 1-6 the next year. So that's 2-17. And people probably think, well, you're giving up. Something's going to. If you know you've been there before, and you know if you keep applying the fundamentals and you've got the right things in place, I think you have confidence from your past experiences and your past success that it's going to happen here as well. And I had no doubt in my mind that if we apply the right fundamentals at Akron, do the right things, we're eventually going to win. So that's how it helps. Having gone to Auburn after 2 losing seasons and winning 20 straight games, or going to Sanford as a Division III school and moving to 1AA, or going to Salem College as a 1-9 team and then winning the conference championship 2 years in a row. All those things help prepare you so that you wouldn't get nervous or shaky or panic when things didn't happen quickly at Akron.
Good stuff. And you, down the stretch, you won 4 of the last 5, and you led the school to its best record since 2008. So I'm wondering how you could use those statistics as building blocks for your program.
You know, it's all about the players changing the culture. The culture is players especially, but people expecting to win as opposed to expecting to lose. Going to a season and fans just going, well, here we go again. Or halfway through the season, everybody saying, wait till next year. Or players going into the second half saying, well, what's going to happen to make us lose as opposed to what's going to happen to make us win. That you've got to change that expectation level. So what 4 out of 5 wins and 3 straight wins at the end mean? A near win over Michigan. What that means is the players now begin to see the results. They begin to expect to get into tight ball games, and they believe they're going to win. And what happens is I believe that manifests itself, that if you believe you're going to win, you're going to do the things necessary to win. It's about being positive as opposed to negative, seeing the glass half full as opposed to half empty, and going out there and playing toward those expectations.
And you talk about the win against Michigan. Can you just tell me how that catapulted your program into the national spotlight?
Well, you know, you can't do that with any other win. You can have a great win over Kent, which we did, and that's huge because across the street from you are fans of theirs, and we live door to door. We're fans that live in the same neighborhoods, and that's one you've got to win just to go to the grocery store and be happy. But when you go out there and play Michigan well and almost beat them, then somebody calls you from Arizona and they write about you in Alabama and they write about you in New York. They write about the accomplishments of the football team nationally. So when you play a team that has a national reputation like Michigan, most likely you're going to get your fanny waxed is what's going to happen. But when you go out there and they don't play well and you're ready for the occasion, you go out there and play like we did, then your program gains that notoriety. People begin to talk about you, and you get something that you can't just get winning one of your local games.
And your quarterback, Kyle Pohl, he also won the Good Hands Award last year. So can you talk about building a sense of community within your program?
Well, I mean, you know what? That's whether it's the quarterback doing it or anybody in your team, you got to understand that how important it is that you build a relationship with your community. I mean, that's critical to your program. Now, as a football coach who is a mentor to my players, who at some point in my career had to make a vow that I would treat my players like my own children, then we need to go out there and give to people that aren't as fortunate. We need to go out there and be there at Children's Hospital. We need to go out there and show that we care about those kids that can't play the game that we play. The community projects, the involvement in the community is critical. Now, that Kyle Pohl is a Good Works project guy that wins the award for Good Works. Well, he's your quarterback. He better do things like that. He better be one that has good judgment. He better be the one that cares about other people on his team and other people in the community. So I don't make Kyle Pohl do what he did, but if I'm going to have the kind of quarterback that I want to have the intangibles, then I would hope he's the kind of guy that would be the first guy out there in the hospitals saying hello and visiting with sick children or needy folks around the community.
In terms of building a community or fan base and sort of galvanizing your fan base, how important are big wins in the conference to accomplishing that goal?
Well, you've got to do it. I mean, people look at all of our season last year, near win over Michigan, 3 in a row and 4 out of the last 5. But the thing that really, I think, made the biggest impact on our players and on our program was in our very last ball game, where a 7-3 Toledo comes into the stadium, and they're going to go to a bowl. They are a perennial bowl team. They knock off BCS level teams at times. They're going to be a bowl if they win. And we go out there, and for the first time in my 2 years, we go out there and win a game against a bowl level team. Now, if you're going to be a bowl team, you got to beat bowl teams, and so I think that's what it means to beat top teams in our conference. The teams in our conference like Ohio U that have won continually and Bowling Green now that are winning, and of course Toledo and Northern Illinois and even Kent State, who went to the conference championship 2 years ago. Big wins in our conference are really the most important thing to our program. Is a conference championship, and that can only come with big wins in our conference.
And when you look at the bigger picture as a MAC conference, how far do you think the conference has come, and what do they still need to do to continue that growing process?
Well, I think the conference, without a doubt, you look at 2 years ago when I think 7 of our teams got to bowl games, or 6 or 7, and so many of our teams are becoming bowl eligible. Northern Illinois knocks off 2 Big Ten teams, and I don't want to toot their horn. I don't need to that much. They got too much going for them. But when we continue as a conference to do things like that, it only enhances the value of our conference. First round draft pick 1 year, 5th guy picked in the draft this year, 2 guys in the first round, big wins over team, going to a BCS bowl game a couple of years ago. All those things enhance the quality of our conference reputation. It helps me to bring quality athletes to Akron because guys want to play this type of competition. So all those things are good. And I think, I'm only 2 years in the conference. Now, back in the mid-'90s when I was the head coach at Auburn, we played Western Michigan, and I've known a lot about the conference, coaching in other parts of the country. But I think right now, top to bottom, the Mid-American Conference, at least for the 2 years that I've been here, has been as strong as it's ever been. And right now we're experiencing a strength in college football like we have not felt before.
Hey, two-part question for you in terms of the new playoff system and how you think it may affect the MAC conference, because it was a good thing to have the BCS for the conference, but from asking you to put your television hat back on, right, how do you think the new playoff system will work and benefit college football?
It will only enhance college football, make it better. We are probably experiencing top attendance numbers in college football, top television ratings, top revenue producing in college football. But until we have a playoff, until we get rid of the mythical national championship, which is the only sport in college to have a mythical championship and not a win on the field championship, until we have a playoff in college football, it's not going to be as good as it can be. It is not. A 14 playoff is only a 14 playoff. It's just a taste of what we're going to have. When we get to an 18 playoff, and I imagine that's going to be that's going to be a leveling point because we have these conference championship games. I'd love to see a 16-team playoff, but I think with conference championship games, in a lot of ways, that becomes the first round of the playoffs. But I think when we get to an 18 playoff, that gives you a weekend around Christmas with 8 teams and 4 games where everybody can win a championship, and then you get to January 1 with 4 teams and 2 games and anybody can go to the championship, and you get to a championship game, we're going to see an entirely new level of viewership, of interest, of excitement, very much like March Madness. We'll have brought back the excitement of bowl season that was lost when we named a BCS playoff, our 2-team championship game 2 weeks into January. We practically destroyed a lot of the bowl games. Mm-hmm. That being said, as long as it's a 14 playoff, I don't think the MAC conference will ever be affected. I don't believe we're at a level of strength of schedule where we will be in a position to ever be picked in those top 4, no matter how good we play. If it gets to 8, which I think it will, and we continue to do our due diligence as a conference, I think we'll have a chance maybe to be that 8th team or that. And all of a sudden, we're the movie Hoosiers. We're the chance for a team to step in and do the unthinkable, is to get into a playoff and ride yourself through it. And so it starts with a playoff. We needed to have one, and it's only going to get better as it increases.
And finally, Coach, putting a bow on things, can you give me just your general impressions heading into this upcoming season and what you like about your team?
I just like the effort, the chemistry. We have, our team has been through a lot. This team has been through, many of the players have been through 3 head coaches, been through 3 one-win seasons. A lot of our upperclassmen never given up, never given out, never quit, and they're working extremely hard. I don't think I have a group of players that deserve to have some things happen good to them than these guys. So I love their effort. I love their resilience. I love their attitude. Those are the intangibles that you would like to have in the team and players, and those are the things I'm most fond of as being the head coach at Akron. I said Auburn. Oh my goodness.
Well, thanks for your time this afternoon, Coach, and best of luck with the upcoming season.
Thank you so much.